That night changed everything. One small decision can spiral into absolute chaos. A regular guy, a brutal crime, and a justice system that doesn't always work the way you'd hope. Welcome to the long road to truth, or total destruction. But before we dive into this roller coaster of a story, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss out on more mind-blowing film breakdowns. Ready? Let's get into it. Meet Nasir Khan, an ordinary guy from Queens, New York. Pakistani descent, straight-laced, a good son. The kind of dude who follows the rules, does his homework, and probably never jaywalks. He lives with his strict but loving parents, Salim and Safar Khan. One night, Naz gets invited to a college party. At first he's like, "Nah, not my scene, bro." But his friend keeps pushing, and FOMO starts creeping in. Eventually, this normally well-behaved kid decides, screw it, let's go. There's just one problem, no ride. So, being the genius he is, Naz borrows his dad's taxi. Not to steal it, just a quick joyride, no big deal, right? He starts driving, feeling all rebellious and free. But there's one tiny issue. He has no clue how to turn off the available light on top of the taxi. So now random people keep trying to hail his cab. Some knock on the window, some straight up jump in the back seat like, "Yo, JFK Airport, let's go." Naz panics. No, this is not a real taxi ride. But they're persistent, like lost tourists with no GPS. Then, just as things start getting stressful, a cop car rolls up. "Officer, everything all right here?" Naz, sweating bullets. Yeah, totally normal night." "Officer, then why is your taxi light on?" Naz, electrical issues?" The officer sighs, shoos away the passengers, and drives off. Naz breathes a sigh of relief. Crisis averted. Or so he thinks. Because then, she steps into his taxi. Andrea Cornish. She's beautiful, mysterious, and has this dark energy around her. Like the kind of girl your mom warned you about. But instead of kicking her out, Naz lets her stay. Because, well, she's Andrea freaking Cornish. She tells him to take her home. But first, a pit stop. Naz pulls into a convenience store to grab some drinks. While Andrea chills in the car smoking a cigarette, a creepy dude starts watching her from across the street. The guy looks straight out of a horror movie. Tall, brooding, and the kind of guy who probably listens to true crime podcasts to relax. Then, Andrea casually flicks her cigarette near a gas pump. The creepy dude immediately approaches her. "Creepy dude, you trying to blow us all up?" Andrea stone-faced. "Mind your business." Turns out, the guy is a hearse driver. Yup, as in a guy who drives dead bodies around. He offers her a ride, and the whole thing feels weird. Like, why is the Grim Reaper casually offering people lifts? Naz senses the awkwardness, starts the engine, and they drive off. But as they leave, the hearse follows them. Red flag. Instead of going straight home, Andrea wants to stop by the lake. They sit, talk, and for the first time, Naz sees a different side of her. She's sad, lost, running from something. And then, suddenly, things get intimate. Naz, our innocent boy, is completely out of his depth. One minute he's nervously making small talk, the next he's taking illegal pills and making out under the stars. Andrea tells him she doesn't want to be alone tonight. And Naz? Well, Naz is 100% down. When they finally get to Andrea's house, things take a dark turn. As they walk up, two random guys start hurling racist comments at Naz. "Yo, what's up, terrorist? You left your bomb at home?" Naz, who's been vibing all night, suddenly snaps. "What the hell did you just say?" One of the guys smirks. "Did I stutter? You left your bomb at home?" Andrea pulls Naz back. "Ignore them. Don't give them attention." Naz, reluctantly, lets it go. But he can't shake the feeling that something's really off. Then they head inside. And from this point on, Naz's entire life is about to change. Forever. The night that changed everything. The vibe at Andrea's apartment? Complete 180 from that lakeside romance moment earlier. What started as a cute, rebellious night is now feeling more like the opening scene of a horror movie where you just know something's about to go horribly wrong. They talk, they drink, and then they start experimenting with drugs. For Naz, Mr. Straight and Narrow, Mr. Goody Two-Shoes, this is like taking a hard left turn off a cliff. And just when you think it couldn't get any weirder, Andrea suggests playing a knife game. Yes, a knife game. You know, the one where you stab the table between your fingers really fast like some kind of deranged pirate, while drunk? At this point, every single person watching is screaming at the screen, "Naz, no, just say no." But what does our naive little buddy do? He goes along with it. Because nothing says great first date like playing stabby-stabby with someone you just met. The night escalates. Not just drinking, not just drugs, but intimacy. The kind of intimacy where you wake up the next morning and your whole life is ruined. And then the nightmare begins. Naz wakes up. His head is pounding. He's still foggy from the drugs, the alcohol, everything. He rolls over, expecting to see Andrea sleeping peacefully. But she's not sleeping. She's dead. Blood everywhere. Stab wounds all over her body. Naz freezes. His brain refuses to process what he's seeing. For a solid 5 seconds, he just stares like, "Wait, what? Number? No way. Nope, this isn't real." And then, panic mode activated. Naz does everything wrong that you shouldn't do in this situation. Catches the murder weapon. Boom. His fingerprints are now all over the knife. Leaves his jacket at the crime scene. And inside that jacket, the keys to his dad's taxi. Bolts out of the apartment looking sketchy as hell. And several people see him leaving. Just when he thinks he's gotten away, he suddenly remembers his keys are still inside. So what does he do? Goes back inside the crime scene. And, because why not make things even worse, he also pockets the bloody knife. Oh, and the drugs. Yes, the murder weapon and the illegal substances, he takes them with him. At this point, the universe is practically begging him to get caught. But guess what? Cops pull him over. Why? Because he ran a stop sign. Of all the ways to get caught after fleeing a murder scene, a basic-ass traffic violation is what does it. At the precinct, Naz spirals into full-blown panic. He tries calling his parents. No answer. It's the middle of the night. They're probably asleep, blissfully unaware that their son's life has just imploded. Meanwhile, back at Andrea's apartment, Detective Dennis Box and his team start putting the puzzle together. And by puzzle, I mean the mountain of evidence Naz accidentally left behind. Fingerprints everywhere. His inhaler literally just chilling at the crime scene. Scratches on his body, aka possible signs of a struggle. Naz knows the night was wild, but the real question is, did he do it? Did he actually kill Andrea? Because here's the terrifying part, he doesn't know. And if he can't prove he didn't, well, guess what? He's going down for murder. Enter John Stone, the lawyer no one asked for. Just when you think things couldn't get worse, in walks John Stone, a washed-up, bottom-of-the-barrel defense attorney who usually represents dudes who shoplift chips or get caught with a single joint. His biggest legal victories? Getting people out of parking tickets. But now, he's got a murder case. And just like that, Naz's life is no longer in his hands. Because once the system grabs hold of you, getting out isn't that easy. The lawyer, the parents, and the worst-case scenario, John Stone wasn't supposed to care. He was just another low-budget defense attorney, the kind who usually represented guys caught stealing a Snickers bar or some dude who got busted for smoking weed 1 block away from where it was legal. But when he saw Naz sitting there in the precinct, looking paler than overcooked oatmeal, something in his gut told him, this kid is not a criminal. It was the look. See, Stone had spent years defending actual criminals, the ones who had that, yeah, I did it, so what, energy. But Naz had the, I have no idea how my life just imploded face. At first, Stone was like, not my problem. But then he thought about it. And just like that, he made his move. Meanwhile, at the Khan household, Naz's dad wakes up early, yawns, stretches, walks to the window, and his taxi is missing. Immediate panic mode. And then the realization sinks in. Not only is his taxi gone, but so is his son. Cue dramatic soap opera music. If this were an Indonesian drama, the camera would zoom in on his face 3 times with thunder sound effects. Then the phone rings. It's the police. Naz is in custody. Boom, their entire world collapses. No breakfast, no morning tea, just straight-up devastation. They rush to the precinct, hearts pounding. Detective Box starts connecting the dots. Back at the crime scene, Detective Dennis Box is putting together a picture that's not looking great for Naz. Eyewitnesses start talking. COM1 neighbor swears they saw Naz enter Andrea's apartment twice. Then there's Trevor, aka the racist dude who called Naz a terrorist earlier. And guess what? Now Trevor is suddenly a star witness against him. And then there's Don. Who's Don? Oh, just Andrea's stepdad. The weird thing, he's not exactly grieving, like at all. No tears, no sadness, just straight up, oh well, life goes on. Box. Sir, your stepdaughter was just brutally murdered. You seem oddly fine? Don. Yeah, tragic. Anyway, do I have to stay here? I actually live in Queens. This apartment belonged to her mom. Box. Wait a second. Inheritance? Box makes a mental note. Gotta keep an eye on this guy. The interrogation, Naz versus Box. Now it's interrogation time. Box walks in, all calm and fatherly. He's got this technique. It's like a warm hug, but also a chokehold. Look, kid, we just want the truth. Be honest with us, and maybe we can help you. Naz, still in total shock mode, almost blurts everything out. And then, boom, John Stone enters. And he's got that cocky lawyer energy. Do not say a word. Box glares. Stone grins. Interrogation over. Box hates this guy. He was so close to getting a confession, and now he's got a legal wall in his way. Stone, meanwhile, is already mentally spending the money he's going to make off this case. The parents versus John Stone. Naz's parents don't trust Stone. And honestly, can you blame them? They were hoping for some top-tier, high-powered defense attorney. Instead, they got this guy. To them, John Stone looks less like a lawyer and more like a dude who sells questionable street food. So what do? They immediately start looking for a better lawyer, even if it means selling a kidney to afford it. Meanwhile, they finally get to visit Naz. And the reunion? Heartbreaking. Naz spills everything. The party. The alcohol. The knife game. How he woke up to find Andrea covered in blood. His parents? Absolutely shattered. Their son, the golden boy, the smart kid, the one who never even jaywalked, is now the prime suspect in a murder case. But here's the worst part. They don't realize that Detective Box is listening. The entire conversation? Recorded. Box leans back, a small smirk forming. Interesting. Detective Dennis Box was putting the puzzle pieces together. And from where he was standing, the picture looked real bad for Naz. A CCTV footage showed Naz entering and leaving Andrea's apartment. Box wasn't just confident that Naz did it. He was ready to bet his entire retirement fund on it. But then things took a turn for the worse. The police searched Naz's computer and found videos about Islam, jihad, and violence. Now, in reality, those were just college research materials. But in the hands of the police and the media, it was a PR disaster. One minute, Naz was just a murder suspect. Now, he was a radicalized terrorist. Naz wasn't ready for prison. Hell, he wasn't even ready for a group project where no one did their part. And now he was being sent to Rikers Island, New York's most dangerous prison. A guard looked at him with pity before he got on the bus. "Keep your head down, kid. You don't belong here." Yeah, no kidding. But out here, it didn't matter if you belonged or not. You survived. Or you didn't. And back in the real world, John Stone was fighting to keep Naz from getting eaten alive. John Stone had questions. And when John Stone had questions, you bet your ass he was going to find answers. Did the cops even consider another suspect? Could Naz really have done this? Why were the police in such a damn hurry to lock him up? Meanwhile, Detective Box had answers. All the evidence pointed to Naz. Unaz had zero alibi. This case was open and shut. At least, that's what Box wanted to believe. But Stone had his own way of doing things. He wasn't flashy, he wasn't polished, but he was relentless, and he was not buying this slam-dunk case crap. The second Naz stepped into Rikers, he knew he was fresh meat. The way the inmates looked at him, some were laughing, some were whispering, some were staring at him like he was dinner. A prison guard smirked. "Welcome to your new home, kid. Enjoy your stay." And then came the religion check. It was routine. Before getting assigned meals, inmates had to state their religion. Naz, Muslim. Then came a heavily tattooed guy with a giant cross on his neck. When asked his religion, he grinned and said, "Assalamu alaikum." The guard gave him a long, tired stare. Tattoo guy chuckled. "Relax, man. I just want the halal meal." Naz realized something that day. Even prison had a loophole system. But loopholes wouldn't protect him from what came next. Freddie Knight, the king of Rikers. In prison, you needed protection. And Freddie Knight was the guy who could give it. A former boxer turned crime boss of Rikers. Freddie wasn't just an inmate. He was the warden behind the warden. And he was watching Naz. Not like the other guys. Not like a predator watching prey. More like a businessman considering an investment. One night, he approached Naz. "You won't survive in here alone, kid." Naz gulped. I didn't do it." Freddie smiled, shaking his head. "Don't matter. You're in here now. And in here, you either got people watching your back or people waiting to stab it." Naz understood what he meant. Protection wasn't free. And Freddie didn't do charity work. Meanwhile, Stone digs deeper. John Stone wasn't the best lawyer. He wasn't the smartest lawyer. But he was the most stubborn son of a bee in the game. So, while the prosecution painted Naz as a bloodthirsty radical, Stone was out in the streets, hunting for the truth. He visited Andrea's apartment. He researched her past. He looked for enemies, secrets, anything that didn't add up. And guess what? Things weren't adding up. Andrea had some interesting connections. There were signs someone else could have entered the apartment, but the cops were too busy celebrating their easy win to care. Stone wasn't about to let this slide. Naz's life was on the line, and he was going to fight like hell. Prison had two types of people, predators and prey. And Freddie Knight, he was the king of predators. The guy didn't just offer protection, he gave survival lessons. "You got two choices in here, kid," Freddie said, lounging on his bed like it was a throne. "Be the hunted or be part of my crew." Naz didn't need a PhD to know which option meant staying alive. Freddie's warning: trust no one. One night, Freddie summoned Naz to his cell. Listen, kid, that Muslim Brotherhood you see in here? They ain't your friends. The moment shit hits the fan, they'll ditch you faster than a bad Tinder date. Naz hesitated. What the hell was he supposed to say to that? But me? Freddie continued. I could be your friend. You know why? 'Cause I see it in your eyes. You're smart. But in this place, smart ain't enough. Naz felt a shiver down his spine. In here, if you're in for killing 4 guys, people respect you. But if they think you raped or murdered a woman, you're dead meat. Naz panicked. I didn't do it. Freddie smirked. Yeah? Don't matter. People made up their minds already. Question is, he leaned in, you want my protection? Or you want to end up in the showers with your head split open? Naz swallowed hard. His trust issues were screaming at him, but his survival instincts were louder. That night, as Naz tried to sleep, the guy in the next cell whispered through the wall. Don't trust nobody in here, kid. One mistake, and you're done. Naz wanted to believe that was just paranoia. Then he woke up to find his mattress on fire. Well, that escalated quickly. Prison Scams 101. Welcome to the economy of suckers. The next day, Naz got played hard. While waiting in line at the commissary, an inmate approached him with a sad look. Bro, my kid's sick, and my wife ain't got no money. Can you lend me something for snacks? Naz, still fresh to the game, went full Boy Scout mode. Oh, sure. 5 minutes later, the guy was feasting like it was Thanksgiving, and Naz's prison account was empty. Lesson learned, prison was just one giant pyramid scheme. Meanwhile, in the real world, while Naz was getting speedrun scammed, his lawyer, John Stone, was out there grinding for answers. One day, he spotted Don, Andrea's stepdad, in a heated argument with a mystery man. Suspicious? Hell yeah. Stone snapped some photos, trusting his gut. Something was off here. Outside prison, Naz's little brother was suffering too. Once a straight-A student, he was now the school's official punching bag. Kids whispered behind his back. Teachers looked at him like he was a ticking time bomb. Turns out, when your brother is accused of murder, society doesn't just cancel him, they cancel the whole damn family. Then came Allison and Chandra, 2 defense lawyers from the public defender's office. And they had one mission: get Naz's family to drop Stone. Allison went straight for the kill. How much have you already paid this guy? She demanded. Naz's father, Salim, admitted Stone had asked for $50,000 up front. Allison scoffed. For a murder trial? That's dirt cheap. But lucky for you, she leaned in. I'll defend Naz for free. The magic word, free. The Khan family's eyes lit up, like they just won the lottery. Because let's be real, who doesn't love a good discount? Stone versus the system. Stone wasn't about to just let his client get yoinked. He stormed into Allison's office, ready to throw hands. Unfortunately, he didn't find Allison. He found Chandra. So naturally, he vented his frustrations at her instead. Somewhere in his rant, Chandra actually started listening. And against all logic, she decided, maybe Stone wasn't crazy. Maybe there was more to this case than met the eye. Sidelines be damned, Stone wasn't giving up. Meanwhile, inside Rikers, Naz was getting an unexpected wardrobe upgrade. A guard, one of Freddie's guys, handed him a set of navy blue prison clothes. Put this on. Naz frowned. Why? What's wrong with orange? Freddie later explained, like a prison fashion consultant. Orange means you're a violent offender. Blue? That gets you respect. Welcome to the politics of survival, kid. Even prison had a damn dress code. Courtroom chaos. The drama heats up. At Naz's next hearing, Allison took the lead. Before it even started, she grabbed Naz by the arm. From now on, I'm your lawyer. You speak when I say. No smiling, no frowning, no stupid expressions. And fix your damn hair. Naz blinked. Okay? Good. Now act like you've been accused of murder, not like you're waiting for a damn Uber. Court began. The prosecution was milking the Muslim suspect angle hard. Ladies and gentlemen, do we really know who this young man is? Is it just a coincidence that he has ties to Pakistan? Al-Qaeda? Radical beliefs? Naz's dad, Salim, nearly lost it. He opened his mouth to defend his son, but Allison shot him a glare so intense that he immediately shut up. Never interrupt me when I'm talking. The man sat back down like a scolded puppy. Damn, this woman was terrifying. Naz's first prison shanking. Back in Rikers, Naz was finally learning a real lesson. A random inmate sliced his arm with a razor. Because, prison initiation. Freddie's words rang in his head. You need protection. That night, Naz went straight to Freddie. Okay, I get it. I need your help. But why did you make me wear the blue uniform? Freddie smirked. Because in here, it's not just about surviving. It's about how people see you. Orange means you're weak. Blue? That means you belong. So, in short, even in prison, image was everything. The deal or no deal dilemma. Meanwhile, Allison was playing hardball with the prosecutor, Helen. Naz pleads guilty, he gets 15 years. And if he doesn't, then he's locked up for life. Allison didn't waste a second. She stormed into Rikers and told Naz the deal. When the judge asks, you say yes. No hesitation, no nonsense. Just yes. Got it? Naz nodded. But inside, he wasn't so sure. Chandra, still feeling some sympathy for Naz, leaned in and whispered, If you did it, say yes. If you didn't, say no. Simple. Stone, ever the realist, added, 15 years is a slap on the wrist for a case like this. Take the deal. Naz took a deep breath. The prosecutor, Helen, wasted no time. So Andrea got into your cab. You two drank, hooked up, and then you murdered her? Naz exhaled slowly, then looked Helen straight in the eyes and said, Number, I didn't kill her. The courtroom fell dead silent. Helen blinked. The judge sighed. Stone face-palmed. The session was immediately adjourned. Outside the courtroom, Allison lost her mind. Why the hell did you say that? Naz shrugged, totally unfazed. I don't know. You can quit if you want. Oh, you bet I will. Allison shot back without hesitation. And just like that, Allison was out. Exit stage left. Now, Chandra was officially running the show. Meanwhile, in prison, Naz had made some unwanted enemies. One of the inmates, a guy with his own tragic backstory, had been holding a grudge. His niece had been murdered, and the killer walked free. Now, seeing Naz, another alleged murderer, he had found a new target for his rage. One night, while Naz was minding his business, this dude mixed boiling water with baby oil, yes, apparently that's a thing, and poured it all over him. Homemade napalm. Naz ended up in the prison clinic, skin burning like he had just gotten a deep-fried makeover. When the guards asked who did it, he simply replied, I don't know, it was dark. In the corner, the attacker smirked. The game had only just begun. Meanwhile, outside, there were mysterious footprints at Andrea's apartment that no one could identify. Andrea had a history of drug use and a wild lifestyle. Could someone else have had a motive to kill her? Not that it mattered. The cops had already decided Naz was their guy. End of discussion. Back home, Naz's mom was starting to have doubts. While cleaning his room, she found a stash of certain magazines under his bed, the kind no wholesome boy would collect. That's when it hit her. Maybe she didn't know her son as well as she thought. Could he have done it? As if that wasn't enough, the cab Naz had been driving that night wasn't even fully his dad's. It was co-owned by 3 guys from their community, with the car confiscated as evidence. They were out of work. Naturally, they blamed Naz's dad. And the police, in their infinite wisdom, had the brilliant idea. Sir, Just press charges against your own son for stealing the cab. That way, we can get the car back faster." Yeah, because that was gonna happen. Naz's dad shut that down real quick. Inside prison, Naz wasn't just surviving, he was changing. The shy college kid was gone. Now he was learning how to navigate the system. He realized real quick, justice wasn't on his side. If he wanted to live, he had to play by prison rules. He officially accepted Freddy's protection,